Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. And shalom to all you Akim out there that teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom Akim. I won't get into about the whoredoms and wickedness of these women's, and that wherever you look and turn, there's a woman acting crazy and being possessed and twerking and doing all this filthiness. And I'm going to get into the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. You know, these damn women's out here today are being pushed to be whores. Wherever you turn and you're ready to go on YouTube or, you know, click on and watching whatever you're watching at the time, there's a woman that's being disobedient to her husband, that's talking down to her husband and doing all this wicked shit. Verse 17. The wickedness of a woman changed her face and darkened her countenance like sackcloth. Verse 18 of Sirach, chapter 25. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he hear it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. You know, these damn women be so wicked, man. It make the husband dread even coming home. You know, this is Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 19. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. You know, these women's now today want to become the head of the house. That's not in order. The scripture says let everything be done decent in order. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order. The Most High made woman for the man, not man for the woman. You know? This is a quick video of just women's practicing witchcraft and doing all types of wicked shit.
Something else, a spiritual belief that connects them to their ancestors and where they can feel more empowered to control their own well-being. They have found it in ancient forms of spiritual contact. Some call it witchcraft, a term they accept and embrace. For most of us, this is how we worship, a tradition that predates us all. This, too, is an ancient art of worshiping, not to God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but to spirits and deities that span the oceans and date back to pre-slavery days in Africa. Are you, in fact, witches?
Whatever the situation calls for. So if you come to me with pleasantries, you being respectful, you'll get Glinda, the good witch of the suburbs. But if you come at me with negativity and meanness and disrespect, then you'll get Eveline, your worst nightmare.
They have many names and titles and ranks within their belief system. They are college-educated professional women who've chosen to believe that theirs is a truer example of worship that is inclusive of the genders. It connects them, they say, to their ancestors and fills a need not found in traditional worship, though most of them grew up in the church.
I was raised Christian, all Christians in my family. In fact, my grandfather was a preacher in the South.
I also grew up Christian. I grew up Anglican in the Episcopal Church. The older I got, the more disconnect I felt.
I was raised Baptist. My father is a deacon, my mom a deaconess. I was in church all the time.
These women are part of a sect, Ile Ola Afefe Osa Meji, spiritual temple. They worship and offer prayers to Oshun, a predominant deity.
She's the deity or the Orisha of aesthetics, beauty, sex, sensuality.
There are growing numbers of African American women who have chosen for themselves a new life, leaving the church in search of more meaning in their lives. And yes, it can be called witchcraft. At a recent convention in Baltimore, more than 200 witches gathered, a sisterhood, but their spells are for good, not for eating for a mate. The omelet-type dish is sweetened in a secret place beneath the stairs of this Odenton home. Using shells, they ask the spirit if she is pleased. 4 shells are tossed to the floor, 2 land up, 2 land down. Balance. The gift is accepted.
She accepts it.
The traditions may seem odd to most, a mystery to some, complex and multi-layered. But these daughters of the moon, followers of Oshun, women, powerful, determined, and understanding, say there is nothing to fear. They are here, and they will be here for the foreseeable future. Yes, there are witches among us.
This is something that our ancestors did, and all we're doing is tapping back into it so that we can become our best selves individually.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Them damn women will be destroyed by throwing more nuclear missiles. This is the book of Deuteronomy 18 and verse 10. Them wicked ass women's that claiming they are calling on some type of superpower. If not Yahweh Bashim El Shai, is false. Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Most High. And because of these abominations, the Yahweh, thy power, thou drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Yahweh, thy power, walking according to the Most High law, statutes, commandments. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Yahweh thy power had not suffered thee so to do. You know, especially nowadays, women are getting these fake asses, these fake breasts, and you may look at it and be like, wow, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. But behind closed doors, she doing all types of wicked shit. She doing all types of foolery and doing all types of witchcraft. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. You don't know what she is up to. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abated the courage, making an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh it weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Witchcraft. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to get abroad. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Of a woman came the beginning of sin, and still have wicked women to this day. This is the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 27. For the worshipping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. There's nothing new under the sun. We just got to be aware of these women and stumble not at their beauty. And shalom to you sincere sisters out there that are humble. And with that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Bashim Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, teaching rule well. And shalom to all you Akim out there. Shalom Akim.